Welcome to Stress Conference. Oh God.
Oh God, we didn't know who was supposed to start. Oh yeah, you do. Welcome to Stress Conference.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely vibing. We're live in the studio.
We're live for our second video.
For our live studio audience.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
I really don't want to do that gag, but
No, it's
funny.
Such an easy joke.
I
Just
know.
woo.
Okay, I'll throw a little crowd noise in.
Thank you.
I can do that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this is a very special episode of Stress Conference for us. It's not a monument to any specific time frame. It's not a because something really cool happened in the news, because we all know that's not the case.
No, we specifically don't want to talk about the news all that much.
Yeah, not
today.
tonight.
It's not the vibe right now. It's
No.
We were gonna talk about. I was gonna talk about abortion, and you were gonna talk about the shooting in Buffalo.
Yeah, neither of those things are fun.
And
I mean, like, not that anything that we really talk about is like fun.
No, and then we were just talking about the sentiment that a lot of people, I think can get very exhausted reading the news.
Absolutely.
And while we, both really recognize that it can be a pretty privileged point of view to have, and I definitely don't deny that. But I think the sentiment and the the kind of meaningfulness behind that it can be seen through. A lot of people can see that. They definitely also are tired of reading the news. They can get that, so
sometimes you feel like you work really hard on something, and you do your due diligence as a person, and then still we see what happens. But we will talk more about this stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of announcement if you want to take the reign here.
So I'm moving to New York City.
Congratulations.
Thank you. When am I moving? Really, really soon.
Yeah, really soon. Sooner than expected.
Like way sooner than anybody ever expected, including me, myself, and I. Especially me, myself, and I. But so we realized this was going to be our last podcast that we're going to get to record in person together.
Yeah. Last one in the silo, at least.
Yeah, last one in the silo.
Well, for now.
For now.
For a little while.
For a bit. And and so we were like, damn, let's have a nice casual episode to kind of commemorate that, because we've been doing this almost a year.
Yeah, we sure have.
Yeah, 4th of July was our start time, but just
we're almost there.
Absolute vibes.
Totally vibing.
My impending uproar and whirlwind of a move I'm about to have.
I know.
That's very exciting for me. I want to vomit every single day.
But it's so incredible, and I'm so happy for you.
I'm very excited. I am very excited. It's been it's definitely so much excitement, but it's been a whirlwind of logistical nightmares of figuring stuff out, getting your security deposit ready, and getting your dates in a row and your ducks in a line, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's I've only moved a couple times, and they've always been within 30 minutes, 30 minutes tops. So, I've never had to deal with anything like that crazy before, so I can only imagine.
I gotta rent a box truck.
Yeah,
I have to drive a big ass U-Haul box truck. I can see it. I'm going to cry. The first time I try to back out and I can't see behind me, I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm gonna be there's a squirrel under my tire. I can't do it, guys. I can't see him.
Not going to work today.
Not going to work today. Sorry, y'all.
No, but I'm so happy for you. I'm so very proud of you. I'm just so thankful to have started this podcast with you. And not that it's over.
Not that it's over, but it's just
it won't be the same in person every 2 weeks that we've been doing for a year.
Yeah, exactly. So why not commemorate that?
Yeah.
But you got any questions about the move? We'll make this an interview.
Yeah.
You ask me some questions, I'll ask you some questions about our lives.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
You ask me questions about us. I ask you questions about when are you leaving.
Perfect.
Sounds perfect.
You're like, no, this is fair.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping for. All right. So, I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping in the background, but it just finished raining, which is really fun.
It was an insane thunderstorm as of 20 minutes ago, and now it seems like the dust has settled.
But all right, so what part of New York are you moving to? And give me an exact address.
Yeah, please. I dox myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 123. No. So I am moving to the Upper West Side, which is a very nice residential kind of ritzy area of New York.
That's
I wouldn't call
cool.
it ritzy. It's a lot of youngins. Which is nice. It doesn't feel like
it's a
when
high upper class.
To compare, like when you go to the Upper East Side, it feels very like kind of like stuffy and old money.
Yeah,
and it feels very like there's no nightlife. Upper West Side is like it's got everything I want. It's got everything I need. And I'll be right by the Museum of Natural History, is where the famous movie Night at the Museum takes place.
One of our favorite
documentaries. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Yeah.
Of course.
That's what happens every single night.
Yeah.
And I can confirm. I go in every night to look at the whale.
Yeah.
You know the whale?
Oh, I know the whale.
Oh, I know the whale.
Yeah. I haven't been there in a long time, but I really love that museum.
Yeah. I went for the first time I think we went in December for like an exhibit that sounded interesting, and it was incredible. Yeah. I was a big fan of that. I would love to go back, especially with like the planetarium stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love space. What can I say?
I love like the Space and Air Museum in DC as well.
The Air and Space Museum.
That's what I mean.
Did I ever tell you about the Air and Space when we were there? Did I ever tell you the story?
No.
When we took a trip to Washington D.C. to see our very good friend Zach Pesha.
Yeah.
And our friend,
shout out to Zach.
And shout out to Alex for also coming with us.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex.
Because I know he's listening.
Yeah, we all know.
Yeah, we all know.
No, like love the me out of here, but we know he's listening.
We know he's listening. And that's what I always want that's all I want out of these episodes is for Alex to be listening.
Honestly, that's
Number one.
When I make episodes, when I make podcasts, I'm specifically making them for Alex.
Yeah, you're like, this is my target audience. And it's just Alex Torres.
That's so funny.
So when we took this trip down to DC, and we were talking about, which Smithsonian's we were trying to see in the day. And then we were very lucky to get into the new African American History Museum it just opened at the time. This was back in like 2017 or something like that. And then
so cool.
We were lucky enough to be able to go into that one. And then the consensus among the group was everybody was like, oh, we got to go to the Air and Space Museum. I love that museum. We should definitely hit up the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah.
And the entire time you guys are talking about this, I'm like, who the hell is Air and Space? And why does he have an entire museum? But I was way too embarrassed to ask. And I wasn't going to be the one that went against the group and was like, I don't know if I'm going to be interested in that. But I didn't care. So I was just like, I guess I'll find out who Air and Space is. You guys love Air and Space. And we get to the museum and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. I was
That's so funny.
Okay, I'm just dumb. Okay, that's fine. That's A-okay with me. I'm glad we know it. I'm glad I can work through it.
I forgot about that. That is so funny.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories to tell. Oh, so good.
Does that count as your question towards me, or?
Oh crap! Where did we?
Because I asked where you were moving.
Okay, I'm moving to the Upper West Side.
Yeah. National.
No, I want to give you a different question because that was. Let's think. I want to make it DC themed though.
Okay.
How many Smithsonians have you been to? Which ones have you been to? Because I thought you've been to a handful, right?
Yeah, I think I've been to.
You've been to DC a lot more than I have. I've only been the one time. You've been like 3.
I've been 4 times.
Jesus.
I've been to DC 4 times. Yeah. It's funny enough that and Portland, Maine are the 2 places I've visited the most in my life.
4 times.
I've been to Portland, Maine 4 times as well.
That's insane. That's really funny. I don't think I've been anywhere I don't think I've been anywhere 4 times. Well,
but Boston,
Cape Cod, yeah. I guess Boston.
We went to Boston quite a few times as well.
But
I guess that
quick.
counts. I've probably been to Boston more than any of those places.
Yeah,
but
and now except New York, but
yeah, exactly.
Damn, so that's crazy. Washington D.C. is one of your most visited places. Okay.
Yeah, because I've had a lot of funny stories with that. Because the first time I went to D.C. Was my dad was getting like job interviews further south.
Yes.
And he needed a ride to go to the interview, and we would take that as a chance to go do a little bit of traveling that summer.
Yeah.
Because I was also out of school.
Yeah, and so you're like, I have the time, you know.
We drove down to North Carolina, like the very top of North Carolina for one of those.
Yep.
And on the way back, what I like to do when I drive somewhere, I like to think about when like the traffic is going to be the highest and use that as an excuse. I'm like, well, around this time we should stop somewhere.
Yeah.
So like at that time, like based on the time frame of us coming back, we were going to hit DC like right around 5 o'clock traffic, or it must have been right before, like maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just stop here, and we would have enough time to run into one of the museums.
Yeah. Sweet. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, and it was super cool. And I think we like ran through the I'm trying to think. What's the one that's like has like a lot of music? Like they'll have like memoirs from like famous musicians.
And like
they have like Abe Lincoln's hat.
Yeah, and like kind of like Americana, like just a weird kind of like pop culture-y.
Is that I don't think it's not like natural history, because that would be more. No. That would be like I've been through the natural history one as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, but that's the one.
And then Air and Space. I love Air and Space.
That's what I'm gonna name my dog.
And then the African American one.
Yeah.
And we went through I also went through the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, I've never.
That one was crazy.
Yeah.
Like that was.
I've
like
never
one
been
of the most,
through that one, and I'm sure it's intense.
That was one of the most moving ones I've been through for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. God, that would be those are some interesting ones that you've got on your list.
Yeah.
I wonder which ones you're missing. If you should like get them all.
Yeah, I'll have to like open up a list because I don't know how many there are. I know there's a lot.
There's a lot, and there's like Smithsonian's like all over the place too. So.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so another question about you moving then.
All right.
Let's see. What so far has been your favorite restaurant in New York?
Ooh, thank you for asking. It's Crayfish Bar.
Crayfish Bar.
They are.
Let's hear about
it. They're known for oysters. They have like an oyster bar.
Oh yeah.
And they shuck oysters like on the half shell. You can like that's really what they're known for. They get them from all over the place. The whole staff is like super educated about oysters and like the different places you get them and the different times of years and like why some look like this, why some are more like this. Yeah, and so every time you go, you're like, not only is this delicious and you guys make incredible like seafood dishes all the time, like they're always updating their menu. It's like I'm learning. I'm like in a science class every single time, and it's like I'm like, wow, I am so knowledgeable now. Like how smart I am.
I love learning.
I love being a marine biologist.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you for asking. But I recently they do this thing called it's like their Oystergram. They do like
I did see this.
Yeah, it's like people who have gone to their restaurant and like tagged them and like, you know, a photo at the restaurant or like tagged the location or whatever. They'll take a bunch of those photos and put them on like their story as like their Oystergram competition, and they'll have people vote on which one they like the best.
And you won.
And I did recently win their Oystergram competition, and my prize was indeed a dozen free oysters.
That's incredible.
So
I've never had an oyster before.
No,
but I would love to.
Yeah, their trip. Do you like seafood at all?
I love seafood.
Yeah, like if it's more in the realm of like clams and mussels.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole experience. Like kind of reminds me of like, you know, when you take a tequila shot.
Yeah.
And you do like the salt and the lime. It reminds me a lot of that, where like you'll do, you know, certain, like you can add these two. There's always like a cocktail sauce. Sometimes there's something else. You kind of, you know, move your fork in it to kind of like wiggle it out of its shell a bit, and then you like people cheers to it, and then they shoot it back, and then you like flip over the shell on the ice. Like there's a whole routine. There's a whole routine to it. So every time I go, it's like also an experience.
I would love to go.
Which is like sick. I've never like loved having the experience of going to a restaurant like as much or probably more than the food. Like even and the food's incredible. Like, but it's just so. Yeah, that's literally right around the corner. So
that's cool.
That's a great one.
When we do our first live episode from New York, we will
live from New York. It's Saturday.
We should absolutely like do an episode live from New York. Just do it from your balcony. I could bring all this stuff outside.
Yeah,
we could film the first like video from there from the balcony. Yeah,
there's plenty of. We're gonna have a gazebo on the patio space, so there'll definitely be like a nice protected spot that's like kind of sound barriered in.
This is gonna be so cool. I can't wait.
That'd be a fun one.
I am so excited for you.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
I'm very thrilled. All right, questions for you.
All right.
Let's think. I was trying to think of a funny question to ask.
Yeah.
About like. So you know how we joke about when we talk about like versions of you in the past where like this was Florida Mickey?
Yeah.
Like, are there any versions you have of that of me, and which one was your favorite? And then I'll tell you my favorite of your version.
Okay. Or
not even my favorite, but just why I appreciated each era.
Ooh.
Your Taylor Swift Reputation era.
Oh, that's really funny. I really liked when you dyed your the ends of your hair different colors.
That was beginning of pandemic. Yeah, that was a good time.
That was I had never
done anything fun with my hair.
That era was one of my favorite Kellys.
Yeah,
what should we call her? The Frosted Tips Kelly?
Yeah, Bad Bitch Kelly.
Bad Bitch Kelly. I like it.
I know. I liked that time. I was like going through a whole transformation. I was like I'm on my new BS, and then I was like, you just gotta dye your hair, and that solidifies that.
Yeah, I think like around that time we had started tossing around the idea of doing a podcast. Like, we like started recording episodes for fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of like secret episodes of Stress Conference that are not about Stress
undisclosed
Conference at all.
And maybe we'll share them someday.
Yeah, one day. If we ever make like a Patreon, like we'll put them up on the Patreon.
The very like, what did we call them? Like episode 000.1. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, like that was like we're like welcome to Kelly and Mickey because I didn't know how to name a podcast except for the two people's names apparently.
Yeah, we were like, this is podcast 0, and we're like, this is podcast -0.
Yeah, 0.1, like stuff like that.
So good.
But yeah, I think that's been my favorite.
That's been
era.
that's been a good.
I think right now your era is incredible.
Thank you. I feel like
it's not Frosted Tips anymore.
No, it's not Frosted Tips, Kelly, but it is. I don't even know. Like I don't even know what to call this.
The you made it, Kelly. that I'm moving to New York City part of my life, Kelly.
Oh, good God.
The making it in the biggest and most important city in the world, Kelly.
If I can make it, what's that song? I can make it anywhere. That's what they say.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Frank Sinatra, New York, New York.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think that's how it goes.
We're gonna insert samples from each of those songs. You know.
Yeah, we're giving me a lot of work.
I have a very vivid memory of. It's so funny because I love New York right now, and like the life I'm going to have there a lot, which is obviously why I'm making this transition. But it was so funny. Like the one time I like had visited my adulthood in my visited New York in my adulthood was I went down with Janelle and we drove. I had to drive down the east side of New York across like 5-lane highways over like one of like the really expensive toll bridges. It wasn't like the GW. It was like I think it was like the RFK bridge. I don't know. And it was the most like white knuckled like stressed I had ever been driving. Oh yeah. Because it was like everybody was going like 90 miles an hour and all of the traffic is just like so condensed, and I was freaking out the whole time. And as I'm doing that, Janelle is playing Welcome to New York by Taylor Swift, like blasting it. She's like, it's been waiting for you, screaming it at the top of her lungs. And I was like, I'm going to strangle you. And then
that's so funny.
And then, but after that, I had very good New York experiences, especially when I don't have to bring my car.
Oh, so absolutely.
Just fucking throw that thing in the river. I'm putting it in the Hudson when I get there immediately. It's just give it a Viking funeral.
I was throwing a lot of New York stuff out here.
I am throwing
the Hudson?
The Hudson.
Who's
Hudson?
Who is she?
Who's Hudson? You're like I'll pick up on the lingo eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's my best era?
Your best era. Florida Mickey is really funny. I don't think it's your best era. It is the most polar opposite from who you are now.
It sure is.
Yeah. Something about that really, really gets me.
Was that like when I was in Florida, or like is that
it was when you were
in
back? Florida? Is that the time you came back was also a different Mickey though. Like the time you came back and then like when you started going to Stick, I was like just talking about how that also felt like a completely different era. But I think my favorite I think my favorite was when we were all at Westfield together.
That
I
was
really
fun.
liked that. I liked that vibe. I liked that stage in our friendship, and we got to like work together and hang out all the time.
Yeah, when
which
we had
was
Phenom
fun,
together,
and then
that
we
was a
just
lot of
got to
fun.
do like dumb events that like we felt like we didn't put like any work into, and we got like paid so well, thankfully. And then like we kept still like getting members all the time, so we were like,
absolutely.
oh wow, it's working.
Yeah, we did.
Can you
the job,
believe
right?
that?
Yeah, that was.
We did it.
Was that one of the first like times that you like were doing social media? Like,
Yeah. So that was definitely super cool.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I was a big fan of that time.
Yeah, I just remember it was always so funny because like usually like when you're in like a organization, there's a person who like is heading the organization that like calls the shots. They're always like, okay, whatever they say goes. Except that was me.
Except that was weirdly you.
Yeah, and like so like we'd be like, what are we doing today? I'd be like,
we're ordering pizza, and we're all like, yay, thanks, teacher.
Exactly.
Like that was us. That was everybody.
Yeah.
No.
Like I would just be like, we get us all into like I would rent out one of the conference rooms for us that was like the SGA used.
Yes.
Get all of us into that room. We would bring like 2 party-sized pizzas, and then we would close the door, and then it would just be all of us hanging out, and I'd be like
eating pizza,
and I just like would like I'm like, all right, here's what the meeting's about, and here's why you have to listen to me.
But also like, and then we'd have to do things like get signatures for bills that like were very popular and passed very easily because of those signatures, and like because of whatever. So it was like we actually like contributed at least somewhat to like meaningful work. Like,
absolutely.
Like the paid family medical leave tax in Mass. Like
I was on that campaign.
I remember that. Yeah,
I worked for that camp. I worked in Boston for Raise Up,
which was
for that campaign.
Yeah, that was a cool time.
That was one of my favorite summers too. Like the 2018, like
when you were campaigning outside of Stop and Shop every day, like
but I was making like the best money I've ever made in my whole life at that point.
So good.
But it's also 1099, so I paid for it later.
Yeah, because it's a nonprofit.
But that summer was great.
Yeah,
that was a good summer.
Yeah. Oh, damn. All right. Your turn or my turn?
I have to ask a question about New York.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's think.
What are you most excited about when it comes to living in New York? Like, what specific aspect are you most excited about? Is it the, like, I guess a couple of things I would think about, like being able to walk around the city anywhere, being able to live next to this.
I am very thrilled to have really good public transit. Like that's become like a really big deal to me, because commuting in American suburbs makes me feel so depressed.
Oh yeah, it's such a bad experience.
It's just so aggravating, and like just so like just the roads are terrible. Everyone's pissed. Like I hate that has to be my main form of transportation, because that is just the infrastructure in the area that we live in, unfortunately, and a lot of areas around it. But I am so thrilled to not have to deal with that, and to deal with, I'll have to deal with probably new issues like not getting pushed onto the subway tracks, but that's okay. I'm gonna get pepper spray. We've already figured it out.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, so I'm chilling, and but I'm also super excited for a lot of museums, because I'm an old person.
I love museums.
I love museums. Like, great time, vibe out, look at some rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like, and then like you just leave, and you're like, oh, it's like 4:00. I could start getting ready to like go out for like some drinks and dinner. Like, I'm an old person.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Let's think here.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
like I'm New York is definitely. You can
come visit. Like
I'm gonna visit for sure.
Yeah, like show you around.
Yeah,
them's the new rules.
I can't wait for the first time I get to come visit. But
yeah,
really, it really is like I've always like really loved New York City. Like the idea.
I love
of
cities in
City.
General too. Yeah. I wanted to live in Boston for a long time, and then I learned out that they don't have very good public transit.
The T's all right.
The T's all right. It just doesn't go. It doesn't expand as far as it needs to.
Yeah,
and it shuts down at like it's like done for the night at like 11.
Yeah, exactly.
So like closes way too early.
6:30 sounds
like
about right.
Midnight, I think, is when some of them close. Like
they do close. Like I think 1 a.m. was the absolute latest I saw.
Yeah, that's not good. But I was going to ask you, what was it? I just had which one of your favorite? Which is how do I phrase this? I'm having a stroke. Muggery, word one. Which one of your cars is your favorite?
Definitely. Oh,
it's not this one.
Wait, I mean, like, so really, like, absolutely, it's Sadie, my current black Sonata, because because it's a hybrid.
Yes,
and I will tell you, not to brag, but by complete accident, I got the absolute best car I could have gotten at the best time.
Yeah.
Like, somehow I got a car that was, like, they couldn't sell it, so it was on rebate.
Yeah.
And it's a plug-in hybrid. Mm-hmm. So, like, how was I supposed to know that all of a sudden the car market was going to inflate beyond belief and gas prices were going to inflate beyond belief?
And so you just are kind of chilling out.
Yeah. Like,
I just spent like $45 on a tank of gas, and I was like... flipping off the gas pump. Like, come on.
Not to flex too much, but
no.
I
want you to.
So you spend $45. Like, how long does that last you?
That lasts me, like, it depends, but I mean, probably like a week. It's like 2 weeks in Western Mass. If I do like a drive down to New York, probably less.
Yeah, because I get my tank. It's like about $55 last time I filled it up from like almost empty, and I get like between 2 and 3 weeks on it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I get a full 2 weeks. I'd have to like really be not driving at all in like the winter.
Yeah. But it depends how much I have to drive to Chicopee.
Yeah, that too.
Because if I have to go see
that'll eat it.
If I have to work or if I'm going to visit my family and stuff like that. Or,
if like I'm just having
people I still hang out with Chicopee and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we love Sadie. But Nancy had so many good memories. That is the only difference. That's like why you're like, dang, that's how I feel about the Pontiac.
Yeah.
I had so many good memories in the Pontiac that like I'm like she was still my favorite car.
Yeah,
like
that was a fun one.
Even though the one I have now is objectively the best car I've ever had and will ever have. It's like a 2017.
Yeah.
Like with no miles on it and like got like Bluetooth.
It's a fun car though.
It's a fun one.
Yeah. But yeah, the 2014 Red Sonata with
something about it.
I mean, that thing went so many places for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a good one. Yeah. So did the Pontiac. Carter.
Oh, yeah. That went to DC.
She did go to... she took us to DC and back.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Now we're like thinking about all the trips we've been on.
I know.
It's so funny.
Is it... I just asked you about the cars. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll do one more each.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Let's see. Who are you going to miss the most? I'm just kidding.
Who's your favorite Western Mass person?
Yeah, can you imagine? No, I can never actually do that.
Who is going to move into your basement? Is it me? Can I come?
What's something about Western Mass in general that you're going to miss? Like, what's the most besides like? Because obviously the number one answer would be like the people.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah, definitely all of my friends and family and wonderful relationships I've built and been very lucky to have, like, because my like whole family is around here, which is very nice. I know like a lot of people don't have that, where they have like everyone's scattered through, but like quite literally like so much of my family is right here, especially on my mom's side,
right?
And so that's been like always a very fun, nice kind of thing to have locally. And definitely my friends, probably making this podcast the way we are right now.
Yeah.
And
it's fun.
Definitely gonna miss Janelle's hot tub.
Oh yeah.
I'm going that one's gonna be tough.
That one's gonna be tough.
That one, because that one I can't really do in New York.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like go to like a public New York hot tub. I don't think that's in the cards for me.
No.
Yeah. Unless it's like a Russian bathhouse and I'm like experimenting or something. I don't know what my life's gonna look like in 20 years. You never know.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen.
What about something from Western Mass specifically, like a place or
specifically the margaritas from Mission Taco.
Oh yeah,
those are the best margaritas I've ever had in my life.
Have you ever had Mission Cantina over here?
No, but they're like sister restaurants, right? So I'm sure that they're very. Oh yeah, I've never tried Mission Cantina, so I wonder.
It's very similar, but like,
maybe it's like a little different. Got a little
I think
flair.
it's the original one. So
yes.
So it's really good.
Yeah. gonna miss that. Definitely gonna miss all of the let's think. I'm gonna miss like how in all the towns there's like Holyoke has volleyballs.
Oh yeah.
South Hadley has tigers.
Oh yeah.
Granby has dinosaurs.
The dinosaur ones.
I love seeing like dinosaur statues.
Yeah.
When I go for drives, I'm like, wow, that is I don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, I know.
It's like all the towns have them, and I'm like, wow. Except Chickpeas is a plane, and that one's boring. I hate that one.
Yeah, we love the military.
Yeah. Joe's family's dog in Holyoke, they have all the volleyballs that are painted around town. And Joe's family's dog, Bauer, every time he drives by this certain one, he barks at it. Because I think he like thinks it's a toy and he's trying to go play with it. He starts
That's so
barking
funny.
at the top, like screaming
at
the, like an inanimate, like 2-ton ceramic ball like that's just on the side of the road. He knows it's there.
Yeah, but it's all for him.
He's like, that's mine. Yeah. Give me it. Pull over.
And honestly, he deserves it. So honestly, he does.
About. He's a very good boy.
Yeah.
We just took him for ice cream.
Wow.
Yesterday, and he's a very delicate eater. Like you give him, like one example is if you try to give him like a piece of corn on the cob, he needs you to hold it so he can eat it like a person. Like, you know, like
I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Stick it his little. He is the weirdest dog, and so you give him something like ice cream, and he eats it very slowly and delicately. But this time we went up to the window, and the woman's handing. I just heard the camera.
Yeah, it died.
Damn. Shit.
Right.
Should we?
We'll be right back.
Ah.
All right, we're back.
Continuity errors are weird, aren't they?
So
Anyways. Giving Bauer his delicate little treat at the ice cream place. The kind woman working at Rogers gave me all of she was giving me and Joe's family all of the ice cream, and Bauer's ice cream, his treat was coming at the end. And then like, so he sees everybody like holding a cone, and he starts like, he's like, is this one mine? No, is this one mine? And he realizes he's the only one without a treat. And you see him like put his paws up on the counter, and she's like, oh, I just have to go grab it. And he's like looking in the back, like, she better be coming back here. We've never seen him act like that.
That's so funny.
For over like an ice cream with a dog treat in it.
Oh my God. What a guy.
Yeah. And he went to town. He absolutely went to town. So
that was
so
funny.
So great for him.
Love that for him. Yeah, totally.
All right. So this is my last question for you.
All right.
What are you most excited to do in New York when you come to visit me?
Oh, wow.
Like, what's something you'd love to try, or something you want to do again that you haven't gotten to do since your last time going?
Yeah, I've only been to New York City once.
Only once?
Oh, twice.
Twice.
Because the second one was really quick. First one I actually
That's
walked
right.
around.
I remember that. You were like, well, I'm here. Now I got to go drive somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yep, remember that.
So I would have to say I'm very excited to see like the nightlife in New York City.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot of fun.
I would love to like see a show, like like you can't wait to see like the different types of bars that they have.
Yeah, I just went to like we do like some comedy shows sometimes.
Yeah, that'd be
and like
so
you
cool.
get like a string of, you know, kind of like up and coming comedians. That one's like you'd love that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would love to see some of that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, we'll have to take you to the bar that makes any shot of pickleback if you pay $2.
I love that.
Or the other bar that's like you go up to the bar and they're like you get two options, light or dark.
Yeah.
It's like the beer.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah, what is that? McSorley's. And it's like got like weird like Americana, and like it's got like a bust of like JFK in there, like weird stuff like that.
I love
and
stuff like that.
That's a fun place. I lost my phone there one time. And I logged in to a different device to like look at my location on there, and the Apple was like, we just sent you a code, we need 2-factor authentication. Like, and I was like, my phone's lost, you idiots, how am I supposed to get that? And I couldn't do like an email. So I was like, all right, so I'm about to lose my mind. And then I was like, before I lose my mind, let me just ask the bartender if anybody brought up a phone. And thankfully somebody had. And I was like, okay, I don't have to lose my mind. Good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So that was a good time. Yeah, very, very excited for you to have very similar experiences.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what you do with your space, and
I
just can't wait to see you grow into the true New Yorker that you've always been.
The Upper East Side widow who killed her husband that I always know I could be. Walks around New York wearing like a dress that's like black and tight like Morticia.
Yeah.
Because I'm grieving.
Exactly.
And like
always,
sunglasses.
Always grieving.
And then I start like an affair with the pool boy. Like this is my current trajectory. That's where I'm trying to peak.
That's so funny.
But this has been a very good time. This was a great idea that we pulled together very quickly.
I know. I'm glad that we just talked a little bit. I mean, and plus you guys get to know us a little bit better and like where what we've gone through and where
it's
we're
good to
go.
hear about like fun experiences, especially because we've been friends for so long. So like, why not chat about some of those stupid memories?
I know, and I love it.
There's so many good ones. But
thanks for being my friend.
Yeah, thanks for being mine.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been a very good time. But I guess, I mean, we're kind of over, I guess, on that note.
Yeah, what did we learn today?
We learned, what did we learn, kids? We learned that I have to uproot all of my belongings very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I am going to vomit thinking about it.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm going to be living my best life.
I know. I'm very excited for you.
What did we learn about you today, Mickey?
We learned that I've been to a lot of museums in D.C.
That you just love Washington.
I just love D.C.
You just love politics.
Yeah.
It's your favorite thing.
It's just who I am.
You're just who you are deep down inside.
But we also learned that Florida Mickey was a different Mickey.
Florida Mickey was a different Mickey in so many ways.
We don't like to talk about him.
No, he wasn't even bad. It was just
so
different. And you're just like, I never want that again.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I get it. We'll never
want to be that person.
Never want to be that again.
Yeah. So on that note,
don't trust your government, kids.
And we'll see you once Kelly is settled in.
Correct.
So we'll be out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
we'll have an ETA very soon.
Yeah, it won't be too long.
No.
Don't worry about it.
I just need a breather.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.